Guys, I know. I felt the same way, After our trip to the junkyard last week, I felt like it was a bust, right? And then I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? No matter what you're doing, there's a lesson to be learned. And we learned one. We're going to talk about that on this week's Tuesday Morning Tech Tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. First of all, guys, you got to excuse me. I'm still a little under the weather, and sounds like I'm from Jersey over here. Trust me, nobody wants that. But we're doing fine, so it's whatever, right? We went to the junkyard, and I had high hopes, guys. Mainly, because I always have high hopes. I always try to be a glasses half full guy, and sometimes it don't work out. What are you gonna do, right? But so we went to the junkyard. It was a pick and pull, as you guys saw, and in the past, it's been awesome. It's been like kind of a little honey hole. So I built the S10 out of there. I built 2 Jeeps out of there. I think I did a little Volkswagen out of there too, huh? I should think so. But it was. But guys, it's something I hate to admit it, but I got to do it, right? A 2000 is an old car, and it doesn't mean it's cool. Okay, so don't get that twisted. Old don't mean cool, And before I hear any of the comments about that one, the kid better watch what he writes there. But anyways, and that's a common misconception. People just think, this is an old car, so it's cool. No, it's not. It's just not. There's a guy down the block here. He's been trying to sell like a '74 Hornet 4-door. It looks really clean. It's on 18s or something like that. It's been out there for a year and some change. It's on the local marketplace. It ain't cool. It's clean and it's old, but that nobody cares, guy. It's just you got 3 dudes that want to buy that car, and those 3 guys ain't got the $4,000 he's asking for it. So that's all there is to it. But maybe I thought, I don't know. We got off track. Not a surprise. But obviously we're working on this guy who is old and is cool. And they didn't have anything for it. Which I said before we left that I checked their website and it was there. And I got there and the guy said, "What are you talking about?" Guys, that's for real what he said, right? So I was like, I walk in. How can I help you? I'd like some car parts, He said, "What are you looking for?" And as I'm signing into the lot, right, I said, square body stuff. I got an 89 Suburban. And he said, I don't think we got anything. I said, no, man, I looked on the website before I came here. You had pictures and everything of an 89 Suburban. And he said, "What are you talking about?" Well, about that time is when I realized I hadn't been there. Well, actually, I realized it before that. If you guys remember, I pointed out when I got there how you used to go into this building over here, now it's over there and all that. So a lot of things have changed. And I felt like it was maybe 6 months ago. Apparently that all changed a couple years ago, right? So when I got home, I went back onto the website, and the pictures of this 89 Suburban were in the old yard, where I pointed out in the video where we used to go. And they were also dated 2019. So there's that. Clearly, that was 5 years ago. And, they no longer had that 89 Suburban, which I understand because it was actually pretty clean. And I was thinking about getting some things for this that I didn't need, right? It had the nice high back buckets and a console, and I was like, that might be nice, right? And I started thinking about all this stuff. I had my mind made up all these things I was going to get. I mean, I knew I needed some other things, the small stuff I needed, and the door panel, and just then a lot of nickel and dime stuff. I did get those little pins and the door lock button, little stuff like that. But I had grand illusions, right, of what I was going to do, and clearly it didn't happen. Now, maybe if I pay a little more attention to what's going on around the local junkyard scene. I've been out of the scene for a little bit, guys, I would have known that they changed everything up there. And they've gone to more late model stuff, I guess, right? Now, when I was going there, so I think about when I built that S10, it was like 10 years ago, right? And then like a year or two after that, I built that Jeep, and then that VW, and then the other Jeep. I've had that thing 6 years, 7 years. So yeah, it's been a little bit, and it's just as time goes on, the cars in the junkyard get newer, right? I mean, this is natural progression that everybody else besides me should 100% understand, right? And I even went into like a little rant in the junkyard. I'm like, this is supposed to be where the working man comes to keep his car on the road, and now they're gone. I can't even do that. And then I started realizing nobody's driving 80 anything to work unless they're doing it as like an older vehicle, right? Because they want it to be like, whatever. It's cool. Like it might be a square body truck or maybe like a G body or something like that because it's cool, right? Nobody's doing it because it's what they got. Like, because the prices are getting crazy. Like we saw this. I mentioned it actually in the junkyard about the OBSs and there's other stuff that we can't believe. You never could have foresaw this happening, but they're going up. So, so here where I'm thinking that I'm right, and they're the assholes. I might have been the asshole in that their way of thinking about stuff. Now there was a couple of old cool cars out there. I mean, those 3 that were in the back, they were beat, but hey, I got some hubcaps out of there, and maybe if I actually ever clean this place up, I'll put some on the wall somewhere. But for now, they're just in a pile over there on the other workbench because there's no more room on this workbench. But we'll get to that later. And I pointed out all the ones that kind of caught my eye, and most of them were old. I mean, that Lincoln was. Guys, I'm thinking about going back there and seeing if that thing's got a title, because I don't think they were that clean in '84. It's funny how some things just they stay so clean, and other things that you would think people would take care of just get beat, and it's just you never know. It's the owner, it's the time, it's whatever, right? But I mentioned it at the end of the last video. When I was leaving there, paying for the hubcaps, and, we'll forget that I just threw the other things in my bag. I shouldn't put that on the internet, huh? Oh, God. I got them for like 9 cents, But, no, I was talking to a guy that had a wheelbarrow full of parts. He had I think he said a Mazda CX-9. And, which I'm thinking is like a new car. Like they still make that, And but it's not. He bought it in 2016, so it's it's almost 10 years old. No, it's a 26. He bought it in 6. Yeah, he bought it in 16. I think it was a 14. So it's 10 years old, right? And he said, "Yeah, I'm starting to have some little issues go with it, and it's kind of hard to find some parts for him." So he was in the junkyard here. He saw that they had 2 of them on the yard. So he went and just started getting on little things that he started breaking it, cup holders and lights and the little stuff, right? And he got a whole wheelbarrow full of parts. The guy charging $50. He's picking all the little things up, heater control, all this little stuff. He said, "Yeah, this is gone. It broke the mirror control, whatever." So he's like, okay. And there's all little plastic stuff that gets used constantly, right? They're cracking. For the most part, there was other things too, but this whole wheelbarrow full of parts. And he's like, he was nickel and diming it, and it was going to be kind of expensive. The guy's like, "Dude, just give me $50 for the whole thing." All right, cool, here. So, talking to the guy, he's the exact guy that I was talking about. He's the guy that, working man, needs to keep his car on the road, and, clearly they know better than I do. That's why they're running a successful junkyard business, and I'm bitching about it on the internet, right? But they have what the guy needed. He's set. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got a couple totes full of parts. I'll come here every now and then get some stuff I see is going wrong," and he's ready to go. I was like, wow. So it was reassuring to me. So even like I started off on a high note, and then I got pissed. I ended up back on a high note because they are still providing that same service to keep the working man going, keep his car going, and I mean, if he would have tried to buy all those parts on the internet, it'd have been a couple $100, right? And probably more than that, you know, $50. He's happy as could be. So shout out to them for still providing that service, and I apologize for being ignorant to the fact. Now, that being said, I would like to find some older junkyards that have some square body stuff. And I mean, even older stuff. You know, guys, I have a lot of older stuff. Like I'm gonna put that. I'm trying to put parts together to put that Dodge together out there. It's an '86 D100, and I'm having a hard time. I need some fender, I need little stuff, and the same. Well, fenders are kind of not little, but you get it. And well, I don't know where like any of these older junkyards are. And, you know, you look on Marketplace where a guy wants $300 for a fender that's just as rusted as the one I got. I don't want to go down the aftermarket thing because we've had that discussion. It just doesn't. It's just, the quality's not there. So what do we do, right? So if you guys know where these like some of these older type junkyards are, leave a comment. Let us know. I'll tell you, old Wade is going tomorrow out to Fredericksburg, and he's looking for some parts for a project he just picked up. And I'm not going to give away what that is because you're going to see it on this channel. So you guys going to keep watching, see what old Wade's up to, and hopefully he's successful tomorrow. He's going to have his eyes open for some square body and XJ parts. Guess we'll see how it goes, guys, right? Thanks for watching.